Most Etsy sellers think the fastest way to grow is by adding more and more products, but that belief is actually slowing down your visibility. The truth is that selling fewer products is often the thing that helps your shop grow the fastest. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I help Etsy sellers get seen, get found, and get consistent sales using simple, strategic visibility systems, not constant hustle or endless product creation. In this video, I'm going to show you why adding a ton of products does not always help you rank, what Etsy actually wants to see in your shop, and how many products you really need to start gaining traction. And if you want to learn more about how Etsy decides which shops get visibility and which don't, I have a free masterclass that walks you through my entire visibility framework for free. The link is in the description. Make sure you go save your seat. Okay, so a lot of sellers believe that the more they list, the faster their shop grows. And this can be true to some extent. It feels logical as well, right? More products equals more chances to be found. But that's not always how Etsy works. When your shop is filled with completely unrelated product types or you're bouncing between ideas all the time, Etsy cannot always figure out what you are actually important for in the marketplace. So instead of helping you show up more, adding random product after random product after random product actually dilutes your visibility. You're not building authority in any direction because you're not sticking with anything for long enough to tell Etsy you're important. All of this means you're spreading your signals way too thin. So if more products does not equal more visibility, what does help Etsy understand your shop? Etsy learns your shop through patterns. So it could be patterns in what you sell, the keywords you use, and which searches your listings constantly appear in and get sales for. So when you have full product lines that relate to each other and use similar keyword families throughout the listings, Etsy can pick up on those signals much more quickly than when you're scattered across a million different product lines. Think of it this way. It's much easier for them to understand like, hey, okay, this shop wants to be relevant for this type of thing. It sees itself as really important for this type of product because it has a bunch of them listed. So over time, Etsy begins showing more of your listings to more of the right buyers, which leads you to get more sales. You have a better conversion rate, and all of that helps Etsy show you for even more searches. But when your products are all over the place, Etsy doesn't really get enough repetition around any specific keyword. And it's not that your listings compete with each other in any way. I hear people talking about this, and it's just not how it works. The real issue is that you don't have enough quantity within any one product line for Etsy to view you as an authority or as important for those keywords. And without that authority, Etsy doesn't know which searches your shop should show up for, so it doesn't show you to buyers consistently. Another way that you can think of this is comparing two different shops. So maybe shop A has 20 focused listings. It's going to outperform shop B with 100 scattered listings across 20 different product lines. So now that you understand how Etsy learns about your shop, how many products do you actually need to grow? The good news is that you do not need a huge catalog of products to grow and to get found in searches on Etsy. You do not need to be selling mugs and t-shirts and handbags and digital products and a million other things. What you need is one focused product line, meaning a group of products that really make sense together that would all convert for the same search terms, and to use those consistently throughout the listings. Now, this does not mean that your Etsy shop can only sell one thing forever. You absolutely can have multiple product lines eventually, but you can't grow them all at once. If you try to grow everything all at the same time, nothing becomes a priority and nothing gets enough traction to rank. And I want you to think about this like a garage sale compared to your local Target. Your neighbor's garage sale sells a whole bunch of products, but they probably only have one, maybe two of each, right? They're not important for anything. Now, compare that to the Target down the street. They sell a whole bunch of different products, but they have full product lines for everything. You don't walk in looking for a pillow and find out they only have one in stock, right? They're going to have 100 for you to choose from. So when you're making your strategy, you want to ask yourself, do you want to make garage sale money or do you want to make Target money? Because there's a very big difference in that strategy. The fast growth happens when you choose one direction first, because Target didn't start by selling a million things all at once. Same thing with Amazon. You can think of how Amazon did this as well. They started by selling mostly books. Now they sell everything in the world, but they didn't start off that way. They started with one specific focus. So a realistic starting point for sellers really depends on your specific niche. If you're in more saturated niches with more saturated keywords, you might need anywhere from 20 listings to 50 to make a full product line. For keywords with much less saturation, you might need 10 to 15 listings instead. That can be enough for Etsy to understand what you sell and start testing you for relevant searches. If you already have a garage sale shop, I do not want you to panic. Here are some steps to take if your shop is already filled with all kinds of different products and you want to start focusing instead. First, you do not need to delete anything. Do not deactivate a bunch of listings. You just want to choose what you want to grow first. So pick the product line that feels the most promising or that has the best keyword research stats or that already has signs of traction in your specific shop. I want you to focus on your optimization, your keywords, and new listings in that one specific area. And then let Etsy start building relevance in that direction for you. Once you see traction, and that is going to come from increased Etsy search traffic, increased Etsy app traffic, you can intentionally expand into another product. And if you're wondering what this actually looks like in a real shop, I want to show you what this looks like in the real world with my EVA students. So most of the students that I get inside the Etsy Visibility Accelerator, when they come to me, have great product lines, but they have way too many and they only have a few listings in each of them. They all have great ideas, but because they've spread themselves too thin across too many different directions, nothing has enough volume for Etsy to recognize it. But once we identify a product line that already has even a little bit of traction, we prioritize it and things start to happen really quickly. I'm going to put a screenshot on the screen. This is my student, Elise. She focused on one product line, built it out fully, and within 2 weeks, she got her first sale on that product line. That is what happens when Etsy has enough repetition with a single keyword family to recognize your shop as relevant for something. And now I want you to imagine that happening for every product line you have, one at a time. That is how sustainable growth works. And if you want to understand how Etsy decides which products get found and which don't, I want you to join my free masterclass that's linked in the description of this video. It breaks down the visibility system that Etsy uses and shows you how to get your listings in front of the right buyers consistently. Okay, so before you go, comment below and tell me, how many product lines are you really trying to grow right now? I'd love to hear where you're at so I can tailor future videos to help you simplify and to grow faster. And as always, make sure you hit subscribe so you can check out the next videos to keep building your visibility strategy.